Let's talk about poison ivy. I'm going to tell you how to identify it and talk about some common misconceptions. There's a ton of it here growing on the ground. It has 3 leaves, and I always think of it as nature's way of saying hi. If you put your hand there, it looks kind of like it has a thumb coming off the other sides of it. Now don't freak out that I touched it. We're going to talk about that later. A lot of times I see people confusing this and thinking that it's either poison sumac or poison ivy, but it's not. That's poison ivy, that's Virginia creeper. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is that poison ivy grows as a vine. When you see it on the ground, those are runners and it's shooting up, shoots straight up. If you look right here, this looks like branches of a tree, but it's actually poison ivy sticking off of there. This fuzzy vine right here is poison ivy. The big misconception I want to deal with is how you get it. While some people are extremely sensitive to this stuff, most of us can touch it as long as we don't damage the plant. I'm not going to get poison ivy by doing that. I've got to damage it so that it releases the oils. Most of the time that I have an issue with it, it's because I've been cutting it. If I'm trying to cut so that I can put a tree stand in, or if I'm doing gardening or something like that, then I'm releasing the oils from the vine, which is still potent in winter, or from the leaves, and once that gets on my skin, then we're in trouble. So if you have any reason to think you've been exposed to poison ivy, all you have to do is wash the area with simple soap and water. Urushiol is an oil, and all of our soaps work by binding onto oils and removing them from the skin. In order to cause the allergic reaction that gives you that awful rash, poison ivy has to be on your skin for a while. So in a lot of cases, if you just wash yourself within a couple hours after being exposed, you're totally fine. Another big misconception that people have is they think that you can get poison ivy rash after it's been on your clothes. And while I'm sure it's true for some people who are extremely sensitive, but this has never happened to me. And I have been exposed in this way to tons of poison ivy that has rubbed all over my clothes. And I've never experienced an instance where I got poison ivy unless my skin was directly exposed to the plant. A lot of people think that the rash itself can spread if you scratch it, but this is not the case. The rash only occurs after the oil has bound itself chemically to your skin. So while it's a good idea not to scratch that thing because it's probably not helping anything, you're not actually able to spread the rash by doing that. More likely what's happened is you spread that oil around without realizing that you'd been exposed to poison ivy, and the rashes just aren't occurring at the same time, probably because the concentration of oil wasn't the same in different places. So the moral of the story is, each person is unique, but most people can relax a bit about poison ivy and just enjoy the outdoors.